I would say one, empathetic leadership. Secondly, in such an environment, you have to be strategic in your thinking. What can you do differently? That would be a game changer. So, as a leader, for me, opportunity for me to see with human lens, how can I tap into opportunities? Innovation, innovation, innovation.
I was waiting for that.
Is the game changer.
Yeah.
No matter what measures that is being done to manage cost saving and the likes, you can't lay off all your staff.
Yeah.
But when you innovate and you bring new into the system that can transform your business in a click, the business begins to thrive again.
Okay, so my last question before I let you go. What has been your biggest surprise or your learning experience for harsh times in any organization that you've been?
Biggest surprise,
Yeah.
You tend to see how employees also respond to
The buzzwords.
We're not so surprised at times. So we've seen employees who resign, giving 2 hours notice.
How?
Some will just call. Hey, what happened? I'm not working again. I'm not interested in. So those are surprises that come. But then we're not discouraged. The learning from me or from my experience in such times, one, you discover that culture is such an environment. So it's then that you can really, really build a culture that can help to bring up your people, to absorb those kind of pressure, and they are more committed to the business. Then again, like I said, innovation comes from constraint. Tapping into those kind of opportunities might just be the game changer
for the business at that time. And something I just learned, they said there is no box.
So, yes. So there's not even any box to say think out of the box. Just think
of how we can come out of this.
Take that step, because you can also think if you have not made steps to start making action with those thoughts.
Yeah,
you can't achieve anything. You will remain on that same spot.
Wow. Okay, so for organizations, what would you say is the role of performance management in an harsh economy? So should performance management still be sustained? Should it be a case of being lenient to productivity and all of that?
We can't do without employee performance management.
Yeah.
However, there will be need for some change in how it's being done. So the shift that I would say is, rather than having the regular annual performance review, we can begin to have feedbacks, monthly review, measuring employees' performance. And in doing so, you can easily address what the issues are before it gets to the mid-year or end of the year. And secondly, the parameters has to change.
Okay.
So the employees' appraisal has to be more tailored to focusing on what really matters. So there might be some disruption in what is being measured compared to what it used to be.
Okay.
So it's an environment, it's an economy where the business is also re-strategizing.
Yeah.
So business also has to re-strategize and cascade it down to employees for them to, what is being measured now, it's what it should be the focus, very clear and direct. We also have to reward performance. Because the whole essence of performance management is there are consequences, there are rewards. So when employee also has performed well, we need to reward them and give an award. You can celebrate the employee on your platform. There should be conversations between the line manager and the employees, and on areas that employees need improvement. And managers are supposed to be coaches for employees in times like that, to handhold them, to show them how to meet those set goals, and taking the lead. It's very important in situation like that. Also, there must be more emphasis on behaviors beyond the activity.
All of the strategies you mentioned, for some organizations, they're not something that ordinarily they've been practicing. To some of the organizations, it might be new. And that's why we're even doing these sessions, to be able to advise, recommend what has worked for us, what has worked for organizations that you know of for your years of experience. So how can we foster, how can HR professionals, how can management foster adaptability and resilience?
Foster adaptability
Yeah.
and resilience. It's important for leaders to lead with empathy in such a situation, empathize with staff and employees to know how they feel, which I've earlier talked about, and putting them in their shoes. It's only when you are in someone's shoes that you know how the shoe feels. You understand? So you have to lead with empathy. Then organizations, management has to be more transparent.
So for talent listening to us, what do you think they should be focusing on to remain resilient?
Okay, I would say for every talent, there has to be self-development, upskilling. So improving yourself in your area of core function. It's not a time that an employee should be lagging around. You have to bring some value to the table. The world is advancing, so if you are on level A before, by now you should be operating at level B. Okay, take it higher, and it's very easy. The internet is everywhere. Go on the internet. What are the new trends in your area of work? So how do you improve yourself? So it's a different thing for your employer to be able to train you, but when they are not, you yourself, you need to show your capacity and your competency and what you can deliver. It's in doing that makes you more relevant in terms like that. And employer is only interested in keeping employees that is relevant
to them
and contributing to the business.
You'll be meeting me and another guest in another session of RIL Talk. So remember what we talked about today. You can go back to check the recordings. We talked about HR in a harsh economy for some organizations. Some of us have scaled through, some organizations have scaled through.
Some are still struggling.
Some are still struggling. That's why we thought to share this for HR professionals to recommend, because people are your greatest assets. And just like what Sharon said, no matter what you want to do, you can't sack everybody. The business still needs to keep going, still needs to keep solving problems and delivering their services, top-notch services. So we hope that you've gotten so much insight from this session.